Misty blue mountains scraping clouds, hummingbirds shimmering like flying jewels, rebellion flowing through the land itself. These are 15 mind-blowing facts about Jamaica, facts that reshape everything you thought you knew. This is raw, bold, unforgettable. Reggae, beaches, sprinters. That's what everyone knows. But beyond the postcards, something wilder, deeper, more complex. This isn't the Jamaica in guidebook. Number 15, Montego Bay. From hogfat to holiday haven. The name Montego Bay originates from the Spanish word manteca, meaning lard. During the colonial period, this bay functioned as a major export port for hog fat and salted pork, commodities in tremendous demand for sailing ships and colonies throughout the Caribbean and beyond. Yet remnants of its colonial past still echo, embedded in street names, local heritage museums, and historical buildings that reveal its evolution from a commercial hub to a vacation paradise. Today, Montego Bay stands as Jamaica's premier tourism destination, celebrated for its pristine beaches, luxury resorts, and dynamic entertainment scene. However, its story, far more complex and considerably more intriguing. Its strategic natural harbor proved ideal for merchandise handling, while its protective surrounding hills shielded vessels from severe weather. Through the British period, Montego Bay transformed from a commercial center into a thriving settlement, ultimately becoming the world-renowned vacation destination recognized today. What was formerly a trading post for livestock exports has transformed into a tropical haven offering adventure, authentic culture, and genuine Caribbean warmth. Number 14. Jamaica, a true biodiversity hotspot. Places including the Blue and John Crow Mountains and the Cockpit Country represent far more than picturesque landscapes. They function as protected sanctuaries where ecosystems and heritage merge. These habitats remain delicate yet abundant, providing both researchers and visitors remarkable views of nature's authentic, undisturbed splendor. Jamaica ranks as exceptionally biodiverse despite its modest geographical footprint, establishing itself as an ecological powerhouse on the global stage. But the richness extends beyond avian species. Jamaica's dense tropical forests contain roughly 800 distinct flowering plant varieties existing exclusively on this island, comprising uncommon orchids, native gingers, and striking Caribbean flowers. Underground waterways and caverns host massive butterfly populations, aquatic species, and elusive flying mammals, many still being explored by scientific researchers. This territory qualifies as a designated biodiversity hotspot, an area teeming with distinctive flora and creatures existing nowhere else worldwide. For bird enthusiasts, Jamaica represents paradise, hosting 29 indigenous bird types, surpassing all other Caribbean territories. From the magnificent Jamaican tody through the uncommon black-billed parrot, including the spectacular doctor bird, the atmosphere vibrates with vibrant wildlife. Number 13. Alia Atkinson. Jamaica's swimming trailblazer Alia's story started in Kingston, where she discovered swimming during childhood. Facing insufficient training facilities and funding relative to dominant swimming countries, she committed to training with extraordinary determination and drive. Her progression up the competitive hierarchy proved steady and relentless, subsequently securing her local, continental, and international championships. Beyond trophies and recognition, Alia elevated Jamaica's developing aquatic athletic initiatives, motivating younger swimmers and driving greater financial support for competitive aquatics. When international sports audiences envision Jamaican competitors, track athletes generally emerge as the primary image. Yet during 2014, another type of champion made headlines, competing in water rather than on a running surface. Introducing Alia Atkinson, Jamaica's elite swimmer who reset benchmarks and made historical contributions when she transformed into the first African-descended female to capture an international aquatic competition, securing championship recognition in the 100-meter breaststroke during the FINA Global Championships. Her success represented a revolutionary moment, disrupting entrenched beliefs within competitive swimming where underrepresentation of black competitors, particularly among female athletes, persists, and island territories seldom achieve worldwide supremacy. Number 12. Jamaica, the land of 1,000 churches. In every Jamaican town, village, or hillside, you'll find a familiar and powerful symbol: the church. Big or small, simple or ornate, these houses of worship dot the landscape in astonishing numbers. In fact, Jamaica holds the world record for the most churches per square mile, with over 1,600 churches spread across the island. This remarkable density isn't just a statistic, it's a reflection of Jamaica's deep spiritual roots. From towering Anglican cathedrals to modest wooden chapels and vibrant Pentecostal tents, each building carries its own story of faith, migration, and endurance. On Sunday mornings, towns come alive with gospel choirs, ringing church bells, and voices raised in prayer. But these churches do more than hold sermons. They serve as community centers, schools, and safe havens during crises. Many trace their heritage back through African, European, and indigenous influences, a blend that mirrors Jamaica's multicultural soul. Denominations span the spectrum, yet they all reflect a shared belief in hope, healing, and unity. Number 11. The Blue and John Crow Mountains, a UNESCO treasure. These mountain peaks once functioned as the final refuge of the Maroons, who fought against imperial rule and maintained African heritage in isolated highland communities. Historic trails still wind across foggy terrain, linking present-day explorers to routes previously traversed by revolutionary figures and liberty advocates. But the terrain encompasses far more than just ecological richness, it encompasses narrative. Currently, travelers may visit historic Maroon communities, hike through pristine wilderness, and connect with local populations living sustainably alongside their natural surroundings. During 2015, international recognition confirmed what Jamaica's population already understood. The Blue and John Crow Mountains represent an irreplaceable international resource. Recognized formally as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, this magnificent location merges biological richness with significant historical and cultural importance. The terrain shelters countless uncommon and location-specific creatures, featuring the threatened jumbo swallowtail butterfly, among Earth's most impressive, plus roughly 30 avian species endemic solely to this region. Lush vegetation, rushing cascades, and jagged peaks establish an awe-inspiring landscape brimming with remarkable biodiversity. Number 10. Blue Mountain Peak. Jamaica's roof above the clouds, Blue Mountain Peak reaches a breathtaking 7,402 feet above sea level, making it the island's highest point. On clear mornings, climbers who reach the summit are rewarded with an incredible sight: the distant outline of Cuba, nearly 90 miles across the sea. The journey to the top is a rite of passage. Hikers wind through misty forests of bamboo and ferns, past waterfalls, orchids, and the occasional wild coffee plant. As you ascend, the tropical heat fades into cool mountain air, and the silence becomes profound. These same slopes produce some of the world's finest coffee, hand-harvested and globally revered. But Blue Mountain Peak is more than just a scenic hike or a coffee-growing region. It's a place steeped in cultural and spiritual meaning. Its dense forests once served as a sanctuary for Maroons, offering protection from slavery and colonial oppression. The peak remains a place of legends, reflection. Number 9. Lignum Vitae. The tree that sinks and heals the botanical specimen itself remains compact and develops gradually, displaying stunning violet-tinted blossoms that entice pollinating insects and enhance Jamaica's ecological aesthetic. Throughout history, lignum vitae timber has been distributed across continents and incorporated into vessel drive components, manufacturing equipment, roller systems, and recreational sporting goods. Its inherent lubricating compounds render it exceptionally valuable for challenging industrial operations. Should any botanical specimen merit extraordinary recognition, Jamaica's iconic botanical emblem, the lignum vitae, would absolutely qualify. Beyond its remarkable durability, lignum vitae has been highly regarded throughout generations for medicinal advantages. Its extractable compounds and outer material served medicinal applications in conventional healing practices to relieve conditions including respiratory infections, elevated temperatures, and joint inflammation. Originating from Latin terminology meaning vitality source, this extraordinary specimen fulfills its designation completely. Its composition demonstrates extraordinary density and robustness, demonstrating the exceptional capability to submerge completely beneath water's surface, an extraordinary phenomenon rarely encountered. This remarkable attribute rendered it exceedingly desirable across oceanic transportation periods. Number 8. Allspice, Jamaica's aromatic gift to the world. Think of a spice that smells like cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg all at once, and you've got allspice, one of Jamaica's most treasured exports. Also known as Jamaican pepper or pimento, allspice is native to the island and comes from small dried berries grown on the lush allspice tree. It was first used by Jamaica's indigenous Taino people, long before European colonizers recognized its culinary value. Today, allspice is at the heart of Jamaican jerk seasoning, infusing grilled meats with its signature warmth and depth. But the spice's reach extends far beyond the Caribbean. It's used in British pickling blends, American holiday desserts, and even Middle Eastern dishes. Beyond its flavor, allspice offers medicinal benefits, and its wood is sometimes used for smoking meats, adding an unmistakable island essence to every bite. For Jamaicans, allspice is more than an ingredient. It's a symbol of the land's abundance and influence. From backyard kitchens to global cuisine, it's one of Jamaica's most flavorful cultural ambassadors. Number 7. Kingston Harbor, the sleeping giant of the Caribbean. On Jamaica's southern coast lies a hidden marvel, Kingston Harbor, one of the largest natural harbors in the world. Spanning nearly 10 miles long and 2 miles wide, its calm, protected waters have shaped Jamaican history for centuries. From Spanish galleons and British merchant ships to today's global cargo fleets, Kingston Harbor has long been a gateway for trade, migration, and cultural exchange. Just outside its mouth once stood Port Royal, the infamous 17th century city known as the wickedest city on earth, a pirate haven that sank into the sea after a massive earthquake in 1692. Today, those ruins still rest beneath the waves, a sunken reminder of Jamaica's turbulent past. But the harbor isn't just history. It's a living engine of the Jamaican economy, connecting the island to the wider world. Its mangrove-lined shores also shelter unique ecosystems, adding environmental richness to its economic role. Number 6. Queen Nanny, the warrior woman on Jamaica's $500 bill. Among Jamaica's national heroes, Queen Nanny of the Maroons stands in a league of her own. Born in the late 1600s, Queen Nanny wasn't just a fearless warrior. She was a spiritual leader, a master tactician, and a mother to a movement of resistance. Her leadership helped the Maroons defeat British troops in battle after battle, preserving the freedom of her people and protecting runaway slaves seeking refuge. Legend has it she could catch bullets in her hands and vanish into the forest like a ghost. Whether myth or reality, her name became synonymous with defiance and genius. In recognition of her legacy, Queen Nanny is one of the very few women in the world declared a national hero, and the only woman on Jamaican currency. Her portrait appears on the $500 Jamaican note, a symbol of honor and strength. From monuments and schools bearing her name to festivals held in her memory, Queen Nanny remains a guiding light for generations of Jamaicans. She's not just a historical figure, she's an eternal emblem of female power, freedom, and resistance. Number 5. The Maroons, Jamaica's living legacy of freedom. High in the forests and mountains of Jamaica lies one of the island's most powerful stories, the enduring legacy of the Maroons. These remarkable communities descend from enslaved Africans who escaped bondage during the Spanish and British colonial eras, some as far back as the 1600s. Using their deep knowledge of the land, the Maroons waged successful guerrilla warfare against colonial armies, carving out fortified villages in remote regions like Cockpit Country and the Blue Mountains. The British, worn down by years of costly conflict, finally signed a treaty with the Maroons in 1739, an extraordinary agreement for its time. It granted them autonomy and land rights, officially recognizing them as a free and self-governing people within the colony. Today, Maroon settlements like Accompong and Moortown still preserve their unique languages, spiritual practices, and traditions. Annual celebrations honor their ancestors' resistance, with drum ceremonies and rituals echoing centuries of survival and strength. Number 4. Ackee. More than just a fruit, Jamaica's national dish, ackee and saltfish, isn't just delicious. It tells a powerful story of history, identity, and cultural blending. The ackee fruit was brought to the island from West Africa in the 18th century. Today, its trees thrive across Jamaica, producing bright red pods that split open to reveal soft yellow flesh and shiny black seeds. But ackee comes with a twist. If eaten before it opens naturally, it can be toxic. Jamaicans have learned to respect the fruit's timing, waiting for the pods to open on their own before cooking. When prepared correctly, ackee is sautéed with salted codfish, onions, peppers, and spices, creating a creamy, savory dish that's a staple on breakfast tables across the island. Ackee and saltfish is more than a meal. It's a celebration of African heritage, Jamaican resilience, and culinary ingenuity. Every bite carries centuries of survival and flavor, and for many Jamaicans, it tastes like home. Number 3. The enigmatic Dr. Bird, Jamaica's national treasure. Throughout history, lignum vitae timber has been distributed across continents and incorporated into vessel drive components, manufacturing equipment, roller systems, and recreational sporting goods. Its inherent lubricating compounds render it exceptionally valuable for challenging industrial operations. Should any botanical specimen merit extraordinary recognition, Jamaica's iconic botanical emblem, the lignum vitae, would absolutely qualify. Beyond its remarkable durability, lignum vitae has been highly regarded throughout generations for medicinal advantages. Its extractable compounds and outer material served medicinal applications in conventional healing practices to relieve conditions including respiratory infections, elevated temperatures, and joint inflammation. Originating from Latin terminology meaning vitality source, this extraordinary specimen fulfills its designation completely. Its composition demonstrates extraordinary density and robustness, demonstrating the exceptional capability to submerge completely beneath water's surface, an extraordinary phenomenon rarely encountered. This remarkable attribute rendered it exceedingly desirable across oceanic transportation periods. Number 2. Life in Jamaica, what it's really like to live on the island. Thinking of moving to Jamaica or just curious about daily life beyond the beaches, let's talk about what it really means to live on this legendary island. First, the cost of living. Jamaica is generally more affordable than North America or Western Europe, but it's not a bargain across the board. Rent for a modest apartment in Kingston or Montego Bay ranges from $700 to $200 United States dollars, with utilities adding around $150. Local produce, seafood, and street food like jerk chicken are delicious and budget-friendly, but imported goods? Be ready for sticker shock. Dining out costs around $12 to $18 at mid-range restaurants, while a tasty street meal might be just a few dollars. As for settling down, there are a few visa paths, like the Jamaica Welcome Stamp for remote workers or retirement options for long-term stays. But if you're looking to work locally, you'll need a job offer first. Tourism, education, agriculture, and digital gigs are the most accessible fields, though wages are typically much lower than Western standards. That's why many expats rely on remote income or pensions. Healthcare is a mix. Public hospitals are free for residents but can be crowded. Private clinics offer faster service at a cost. Expect to pay $30 to $50 per doctor's visit and a few $100s annually for private insurance, which is highly recommended. Number 1. Jamaica's Renewable Energy Revolution Schools. Educational institutions, corporate offices, and business enterprises are likewise participating by mounting overhead solar arrays and decreasing their greenhouse emissions. This represents considerably more than ecological legislation. It concerns electrical autonomy, expense reduction, and safeguarding Jamaica's magnificent ecological environment. Should this initiative prove effective, Jamaica might serve as an inspiring benchmark for additional Caribbean nations pursuing environmental responsibility. Through a courageous commitment to ecological responsibility, Jamaica is swiftly revamping its electrical infrastructure. By 2030, the nation targets producing half of its electrical supply utilizing sustainable energy resources, encompassing photovoltaic technology, atmospheric currents, hydroelectric, and agricultural derivatives. That constitutes a dramatic transformation for a Caribbean territory that traditionally relied heavily on petroleum commodity imports. Photovoltaic installations now spread throughout zones including Clarendon and Westmoreland. Meanwhile, rotating wind generators operate consistently throughout the elevated regions of Manchester, including facilities like the Wigton Atmospheric Generator Installation. Furthermore, agricultural remnants, for example bagasse materials, are receiving transformation into sustainable agricultural derivative electricity.